are the Gratitude Girls.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hi, Laurie. Rara is in the house.
How are you today?
I am wonderful. Today is a fantastic day. I'm so excited for so many reasons. I will maybe share a few with our audience, but most importantly is our Gratitude Girls Day. And that's what everything revolves around for me. Let me ask you, Laurie, what city are you in today? It looks like I know this familiar surrounding. Did you just get off a plane or are you going back on another one?
I just got off a plane 2 days ago and I'm going back off on another one in 8 more days.
Okay, well, we always have this revolving suitcase. We have one packed as well, and we're going away this week. So let's do some geography. Let's do some geography about where are you right now? What city are you in?
I am in Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay, awesome. I'm in Toronto, Ontario. I'm in Canada. So this is an international show. Where will you be going to next? What part of the country or world?
I am going to Salt Lake City, Utah.
That's right. Oh, that's amazing. So I'll be heading to Edmonton, then I'll be coming back to Toronto, and then I'll be going to Salt Lake. And that's where we'll be together. I'm so happy for that. I don't know what we're going to do, if we're going to take pictures, videos, or what we have to do, but we're going to get some stuff done together. So that's really exciting because this is coming up, to our anniversary, which we just had, of where we met. Laurie, I know that we reminisce all the time, and I would like to call what we do is checking in, staying in touch. To the audience that's watching right now or just tuning in for the first time, or our guests that have been following us for years, Laurie and I have met in a very special way. And every time we get to talk about it, thanks to the audience and the guests who come onto our show, we get to relive that moment. And reliving a moment that's very special really brings us all together. So with your permission, Laurie, may I ask you to share with our guests and our audience, why are we here? What happened to us that put us in front of a camera saying we are the Gratitude Girls?
Yeah, absolutely. So back in June of 2013, Catherine and I are both in a direct sales company called Send Out Cards. And so we send out gifts and gratitude and lots of love and kindness all over the world all the time, as well as showing people in business how to increase their business. So in that company, Catherine and I are actually cross-lined to each other. And the company has an international convention every year. And every year there's like a theme for the year. And so 2013, the theme was gratitude. And every year there's one person normally that wins like whatever that award is for the year at our national convention. And so our CEO got up on stage and he tells all the little tidbits and the accolades about the person he's fixing to call their name. And he called Catherine up to stage. And so I was busy taking pictures and video and doing all the stuff that I do, all my technology stuff. And then all of a sudden he says, for the first time ever, we have a tie. And as far as I know, it was the only time we've ever had one. And he gives the same thing, some accolades about that person. And then all of a sudden he calls my name. So Catherine and I didn't even know each other at the time. And so we literally met on stage in front of thousands of people. And it was kind of like one of those, when you meet your spouse or whatever, and it was kind of love at first sight, you say, sometimes. That was how it was with us. It was like love at first sight for business partners and best friends. And we just hit it off immediately. And literally within like 3 minutes, Gratitude Girls was born.
That's right. Laurie, I remember every minute about that. I remember watching you come up on stage and thinking to myself, I'm going to get to meet Laurie Delk because of all of the wonderful things that I had heard and read about you. And one of the things that I read that really resonated with, oh my gosh, I wish that could be me. What kind of person is that? You gave the most gifts, sent the most gifts in our entire company. Now, if it weren't Gratitude Girls, you would have a show called, The Girl Who Gives Things to People, the girl who gives the most things to people. It's something that I admired in you. Imagine meeting somebody who has given more gifts than anyone in an entire company. So that really was something that I wanted to know more about and know more about you. I kept wondering, what does it feel like to be someone on the other end receiving the gifts that Laurie's sending? So I saw your name numerous times, and when I saw that I was going to get to meet you, I was excited. My knees were shaking from the excitement because it was on my I am statement when Cody called my name. And I remember thinking, how am I going to get up to that stage? How am I going to get up there? And when I got there, it dawned on me, there was streaming and there were people there. And there we were. And you're right. It was instantaneous. It was like that. We knew that we were destined to do something together. We didn't know before the moment of both being up on stage. My radar was up about such a wonderful woman that I had only hoped to be able to meet. And from that moment on, we have not left each other's side, living in two different countries, working cross lines. So what that means is we're not exactly on the same line, the same team for our company, but we have merged, we have built, we have worked together. I'm certain, like no one else has done in many companies, for the simple reason that we believe in unity and that we are one, and we treat each other as if we are one. It's an amazing feeling to have. If you're watching right now and you're relating to this, then you know what I'm talking about. If not, keep your eyes open, keep your radar on for the type of person that comes into your life that you have that instant feeling about, and go for it. Do what we did. We leaned into it. We kind of locked arms, and here we are. And that was 2013. And there's no looking back. It's looking forward. Laurie, that was awesome. And this platform that we've developed and we've cultivated of allowing ourselves to open up to people, to ask them to share their gratitude with us. This is really a very satisfying and very rewarding part of our work and the work that we do with our communities all around the world. So I want to thank you for being my partner, and thank you for opening your heart and for continuing to do that, because across the miles, best friends do live forever, and we are drawn to travel the world together, and that's what we're going to do. So I look forward to it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
So let's talk about our guest in our show tonight. We have many guests on our show, and if you're looking tonight and you're watching and you want to know a little bit about this gentleman, take a good look at what's behind him. So you can look behind me and see what's, it's my home, it's my living room, my dining room. You'll look at Laurie, you'll see she's in her home. You're going to look at our guest and say, where is he? What country? What is surrounding him? And the amazing thing is I got to spend time with our guest on Saturday, and I got to spend the whole day with him. And I want to tell you a little bit about him. When we needed someone to sit in a chair that wasn't quite straight on the ground, because we didn't want to change the formation, and the chair needed to be in that place, but we didn't want anyone to maybe fall or tip, Jorge said, I'll sit there. I will take that seat. I will hold space for this group, for this seminar. And this is the kind of man that Jorge is. And I want to introduce, with a big round of applause, our guest, but more importantly, our friend, Jorge. Welcome. Welcome to our show.
Thank you, ladies, so much for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Talk to me a little bit about, in your mind's eye, where are you right now?
Wow. Well, you can't really put a geographical location, because being in the presence of you, especially sharing your story earlier, I kind of left, these four walls, and you see behind me, where is he? Where is he at? At this moment, it's kind of just like us right now. It's a very, very, very special feeling that we've tapped into. And I was just really listening to your words at the beginning between you and Laurie. And hello, Laurie. Thank you so much for having me as well. And I was just drawn into that story. It was so powerful because you're so right. Be open. Meet people with open minds and open hearts, and look at the possibilities. You're a living testament of what you can accomplish. So in my mind's eye, I'm here with Gratitude Girls. That's where I am. My mind and my heart, we're here.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Wherever that may be, it could be in someone's living room, it can be someone's heart, it can be in someone's mind, right? I'm here.
Yes. Thank you. And you bring with you so many wonderful things. When I look behind you, I see depth, I see texture, I see color, I feel things. I see these beautiful things off to your left, these colorful beads or something hanging. Talk to me about what it is that you're surrounding yourself with. New, old, young,
Yeah,
what's happening?
that's a very, very good point. As humans, I think the most instinctual or primitive sense is the sense of touch. We love to touch things. It's primal. We see things and we want to touch them. But to me, when I was reflecting on the words that you're saying about all the things that I've collected, uh, they all have a story to tell. Every little piece has a story. And I think that to me, storytelling is so important. It's so fascinating because there's so many people on this earth and everyone has a story that's unique to them, their own unique perspective. And these products behind me, I know they seem colorful and they seem um, very tangible. I've wanted to surround myself with works of art made by people's hands that are trying to tell a story that perhaps uh, surpass a language barrier because they're from Central and South America, but anyone can appreciate them. They might not be able to uh, express in the words. They might not have the education to say, but they can create, and they hand that gift down from generation to generation to generation. And some you can almost like you can hear the voices.
Mm.
If you just hold it, you can hear the voices. You can hear the testament of just an unbroken chain. So I love to surround myself. I'm kind of like a curator. I just love to keep it all together and kind of connect the dots, kind of educate someone and share with them these pieces that I think that should be celebrated. And to me, they're marvelous.
Jorge, how did you get into that? How did you decide that you could read into an artifact, a piece of art, a sculpture? Talk to us about that.
I think that I will have to give credit to my mother. And I know that might seem a little bit silly to say, but she let me be an artist. Every child is an artist. They're creative. They draw with chalk. She let me be who I wanted to be. And everything I do is because of that. She didn't make me be someone I wasn't. She didn't tell me I had to study this in school. She just let me explore my art and my artistic creative nature. And of course, this is a culmination. It's so interesting because I stopped and I looked around and I kind of noticed subconsciously I was recreating my roots because my roots are from Central America. Whether it's the colors, whether it's the conversations on the streets, it's all the memories that I've just been craving and yearning. It's very fascinating. It's very fascinating because once you become aware of that, quite powerful.
You have a studio all of your own, filled with beautiful memories and stories all around you. When you're choosing, so you travel. Let's see if we can
Yes.
give our audience some of the
Oh yes.
understanding. So it's not something you do online. How do you do this? How do you go into these countries and surround yourself with these things? And then how do they end up in your living room?
So I would have to say, my mother, she goes back home and she explores, and I think the joy of it is discovery. I think the whole beauty of it is discovery. Whether it's a small town where no electricity, no running water, not accessible by a car, a vehicle, but you have to know someone in the city to take you, and it might be 3 hours in the jungle, and you see the most it's just like unspoiled. You see how these people live, and they have dirty hands, dirty feet, but they create these works of art that are just mind blowing. It's just raw. It's just
Mm.
raw talent. It's not inspired by anything. It's not to say that you can't be inspired by other people's work, but I'm just saying it's just like an untouched oasis, and I feel like everyone should know about it. Everyone should be, if I can have that reaction to, I want other people. I want to share that reaction with people. I want to be that catalyst to bring. I say, guys, because it's so funny. Now everything's so accessible and so disposable, and we in any genre, what the slow cooking movement. There's like a pushback to less. Whether you can call it a simpler time, but just less complication. We're kind of seeing people perhaps uh, self-discover, whether it's holistic healing, or there's just a consequential of our lifestyle. And I just want people to feel what I feel, to show them all these pieces. So some of these cities that we do find these pieces and fabrics and are just so remote and so hard to find it. That's how we find them. And actually, this fall, I want to go and personally and video record, because I think images are powerful. Bit. Oh boy, there's nothing else like video. Well, hello, look at us. You know what I mean? It's something. It's a different element of wow that I want to introduce to what I do.
That'll give us another insight. Let me ask you, if you were to plan your next adventure, or well, tell us if you are planning it, and where would it be to?
Oh my goodness, the list is long. The list is long. This world is so astonishing. And one day I would love to bridge, like you are the bridge. Okay, so I'm learning. You are my mentor, especially when you give your seminars and you give your talks. One thing that stood out to me, and it's so funny because I came back and I reflected. I've changed kind of gears and changed where I want to be and changed the direction, because you said a sentence that really stood out to me: service above self, service above self. And I remember writing that in my notebook, and I circled it probably right through the page so many times. And that really, really, how can I apply it to my life? So I would love to branch out in the future and just put a magnifying glass over every culture, because every culture has something beautiful to share, and a story, and a unique story, and lots to celebrate. So I have my eyes on the whole world, baby. Whole world, every little corner.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. Thank you for your compliments and what you said. I really appreciate you, and I appreciate your attention and your note taking. And
Oh, yeah.
I'm a Rotarian, and Rotary, their motto is service above self. So
Yes.
it might be something that you want to think about. We could talk more about that, but service above self definitely resonates with me. And I see you. I can see through your eyes these different adventures that you want to have. So the reason why I asked you, like, where's the next place? Because I can only imagine that you have your eye on something. You have pieces that I've seen pictures of, and I do intend to visit these pieces in person. I know you've given me an invitation, and I will certainly step into that space and make sure that it's the right time for you, because I can imagine the vibrations that come from your excitement from going somewhere. I could just feel it. It's like, how are you going? Tell me when you're going through the jungle again.
Yeah.
Imagine you with a webcam on your head going through the
Can you
jungle for 3 hours.
imagine? Yes.
That would be amazing. Like, people want to look at art galleries and they want to see beautiful things. And I want to see you going through the jungle, looking at an artist who's putting clay together to make a mask.
Yes. And get your hands dirty.
Yes. Yeah,
That's,
good.
that's where it's at.
Is that the name of your book? Get Your
Oh,
Hands Dirty?
you want to co-author? Yes.
Yes, why not? Let's do that.
Great.
Not why not? It would be an honor. It would be an honor. Thank you so much. And imagine the picture could be like one set of manicured hands and one set of dirty hands, and get your hands dirty.
Well, it's a good metaphor for anything. Get your hands dirty. There's no, you can't reach your goals without effort, without getting in there and getting your hands dirty. I think that's a really great line to reflect on, regardless of what path you're on in life or where you are. Right?
That's right. It's like that, push up your sleeves and let's get into it.
Yeah.
Right?
Same energy, same idea.
Well, I definitely can see you doing amazing things. There's no question. From the results of what's behind you, I can see that you've done amazing things, and I can only imagine the things that you're going to come back with. The one-of-a-kind experiences, yet alone what you'll hold in your hand, the stories that you'll be able to tell.
And also, I want to connect the dots completely. I know I would love to give back, whether it's, building wells and building shelters and building houses and building. I really, my belief is you feed, you teach one person, that analogy, teach one person how to fish. You can feed them. No, really.
Yes.
And, what people don't understand, these artisans, they employ, whether it's their children or people, and they feed a community. You are helping indirectly a community. I just want to bridge that, empower the people here by, purchasing. You can see a direct effect, and I want to show it. I want to show videos. I want to be there. I want to, like you said, be a testament of everything that we've created. Whether it's a little piece of pottery or a plant or a little textile, it can be as insignificant as $20. But I want to bridge again, so we can see the direct contribution that you're making to these people.
Thank you for sharing that vision.
Well,
Laurie.
What's the least I can do? It's the least I can do, because I'm using my my life and my privilege, and I'm just using it for what I think is a good cause.
You're open to it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that Laurie, thank you so much for your patience. I'm sure that Laurie has some things that she wants to ask you. So please, by all means, Laurie, let's get to know Jorge from your perspective.
Yeah, so I have two questions. So one, tell me, what is, of all the places that you've been to, what is your most favorite and why?
Oh, there's no place like home. There's no place like home. So that would have to be Nicaragua. It's just different. It's whether it's volcanoes or I remember as a little boy, my grandpa bringing monkeys and toucans and sloths, and that's so impressionable. Can you imagine the food, the colors, the lifestyle? There's just nothing like going back home. As simple as that.
Awesome. And then what is something, like, everybody's grateful for lots of different things, right? But tell me one thing, one story that you're significantly grateful for, something or someone in your life or situation, anything.
That's a very, very, very good question. And I think my answer to that, I won't say one particular. I think I've had to learn to be grateful for all the small things. Because sometimes it's intimidating. Sometimes it's a little bit intimidating to someone to say, oh, choose one thing. And they overlook all the small things. All the small blessings that you might not even, that you oversee, whether it's a sunny day, whether it's a stranger saying hello, whether it's that friend call. It's just the small things. And when you focus on the small things, the culmination of them, you are living in gratitude. it's a bizarre thing. It's bizarre if you are conscious, if you make a conscious effort to even say, I'm grateful for this walk. I'm grateful. You know what? I'm even grateful that I have the ability to complain about something. Really, I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be stuck in traffic. You know, once you start being aware of the small gratitudes, it's just you're submersed, you're immersed in gratitude.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Jorge, I'd like to do something with you tonight. And we briefly talked about it, so I didn't give you 100% of a surprise. But I'd like to turn the show over to you for a little bit. And if you have any questions that you would like to ask Laurie or I, by all means. And then I'd like to talk a little bit about how our guests can reach you and follow you and get in
Of course,
contact
I
with
have so many questions.
you.
You tell me if I'm talking too much or if I'm because I find your and Laurie's relationship very inspiring. When you first started, you mentioned you just had an attraction, you know, bigger than you perhaps. It was just in the moment, you gave yourself into it. Did you ever think that we would be here today doing what we're doing?
Are you
When you
asking?
first, both of you, when you
Oh,
first met each other, some people say they can see into the future, but I just want to know your perspective.
okay. Laurie, would you like to go first or second?
I'll go first, I guess.
Okay, awesome.
So, I think we knew that we didn't know exactly what all we were going to do, but I think we knew immediately though that was it. There was something bigger in that moment of us just meeting on stage and winning an award together. And we also knew, like I said, like literally within 3 minutes, we created Gratitude Girls, and we knew it was going to be, we knew that we both lived in different countries. So we knew it was going to be basically some internet platform of how we could share and show gratitude to the world. And so we knew that much. We didn't know exactly how we were going to do it at the time. And we came up with the specifics a little bit later. And, but here we are.
Yes, I agree with you. Thank you, Laurie. We did have that instant feeling, that instant attraction, that instant connection. That wasn't a connection that felt like a nudge. It felt like it was certainly deep rooted, like it was awakened. And we knew that we wanted to share. And we were actually asked to be interviewed because I guess somebody wanted to interview us. And that interview was an easy thing for us to do, even though sometimes people would say it's the first time, what is that like? We interviewed, it felt right. It felt right to talk about gratitude, to ask people about their gratitude, to have a platform where people could talk about, someone could talk about the things in their life. It felt like the right thing because for us, it happened that we were put together, and I don't believe there are any coincidences. Our CEO certainly is a genius on so many levels, and I truly believe that even though he didn't orchestrate what happened, he had us, because of him, we were on stage together, that this had a deeper meaning. So we did know that it would be something big. And I do believe there is always more to come.
Wow, that's so exciting. That's so exciting. And how important do you think being grateful is? I know that sounds so obvious, perhaps, but it's not. It's not a mindset that a lot of people live in.
Would you like me to answer first, Laurie, or would you like to answer?
Sure, you can go first this time.
Okay, thank you. So how important do I think being grateful is? I believe that being in gratitude and being grateful is a very important part of my day, very important part of my life, and serving others and serving our higher beings, we need to be in gratitude. So it's important. How important? It's extremely important. It is unconditionally important that you can somehow look at someone and you can tell when someone's in gratitude. It's how they are with themselves. And we know that the mindset can change so many things. So imagine being in gratitude and feeling grateful for being in traffic, feeling grateful for having done something, been somewhere, as opposed to what am I going to do next? And this is what I really want. And, you know, this is not the phone that I want. And this is not really the cup that I want, but I'm getting that soon. The difference between wanting, hoping, and wishing and being in gratitude is huge. You can see that in someone. You can see it. It's sort of like the makeup they wear.
You're so right.
Laurie?
Yeah, and so I couldn't imagine a life without gratitude. That's how important it is. I can't imagine somebody who doesn't have that gratefulness in their life. You know, in anything, in every situation, you have a choice, right? We all have choices. Whether you choose to react or act to a situation and how you choose to act in it. So like the example you said of being in traffic. Okay, so I'm in traffic, but I'm thankful that I have a car I can drive in traffic. I'm thankful that I have a place to go, an important place to be going to in traffic. You know, I mean, there's so many different things of how you can take of any situation, you know, and make it better and look at the bright side. You know, you can look at the gloomy side and be all doomsday, or you could look at the bright side and find something to be grateful about in that situation. And I was so blessed with a mom who had that optimistic attitude and shared that with me all growing up in my life. And my husband used to tease me and he used to say I was overly optimistic. And I'm like, no, it's just, you know, I don't choose to be upset or angry. I don't like those feelings. You know, I'd rather be happy and grateful for whatever it is, you know, and I mean, just like this last week, I had a speaking engagement in Virginia Beach, and the night before I left, right when we were just walking out the door to go to the airport, I got a text that my flight was canceled, not changed, not moved, just canceled. And so in that moment, I had to decide, you know, well, I had to, of course, figure things out, but I had to decide how I'm going to feel and react to this, you know, and so, but, you know, I called the airlines and they got me on a flight for the next day, which wasn't as optimum as I wanted, but, and it did make me miss the beach in that morning, but, you know, but I got out safely because they canceled the flight because there were storms. So they kept me safe. And that night I got to spend time with a good friend that I wanted to spend some time with. And so I got to spend an extra day with them. And then the next day I flew out to Virginia Beach, and then the lady I was speaking for, her and her husband took me out to dinner on the beach at a restaurant. So I still got my beach time, just not in the sun, but I got to have dinner on the beach. So, you know, but still it's just, you know, you don't just, you know, I could have pouted about that. You know, I didn't get to go early and have my beach day or whatever. Or I could just go with the flow and just whatever happens, happens, you know, and you just make the most of it. I had gotten to the airport the next day and I was late because of some situations that happened that morning. And that I got there like 30 minutes before the plane took off, and they said, well, your luggage was late check-in, so it might not make it. You'll make it, but it might not make it, you know? And I was like, okay. You know, I mean, I get there, there'll be stores. I could go shopping. That's the worst case scenario, right? So, just, that's it. I mean, just don't, have a cow over anything. You just be grateful and thankful no matter what.
And Laurie, question: how important do you think having a support group is to success? Because I will admit, my question is, I'll give you some context to that question. We are human, okay? And some situations I find it I'm decentered. And I found there's a moment in life where I wasn't able to reach out to anyone, either to vent or to ask for help. And that was worrisome, you know? So I'm trying to discover, I'm trying to reinforce perhaps existing friendships that I want to see in a different light and reinforce and really, really, really appreciate and strengthen, because I feel like um, they can really help you out in times of need.
Yes, I do think friendships and being close to people and having that support group is super hugely important. There are times that, because that's it, we're all human. We all have our moments, right? And so sometimes we do need someone to reach out to. Catherine is one of those people for me that, sometimes I will, text her something and she knows from the way I word something, even if I don't come out and say it, and she'll come back and, are you okay? Or, say something to know. But I also know that I can reach out to her. I have that confidentiality with her that, my drama wouldn't be, out anywhere else, but that also that I can tell her things because she's going to be that person to lift me up, and I have several, really close friends that are that support group for me that, and you don't want to, I also believe in, what you think about, you bring about. So the more you talk about it, you could bring about more drama. So you don't want to continually doing that all the time, but sometimes you do need at least one or maybe even two people to reach out to help lift you up. I do believe it's important to try to lift yourself up. The Bible says David encouraged himself in the Lord. You should, as the phrases say, pull on your bootstraps and, pull up your big girl panties, whatever, and get busy and get it done. Right. And move forward no matter what, and if you're going to fall, you fall forward. Right. And so I do believe that you should try to do it on your own and have things to lift yourself up. And that's one of the reasons why I started writing a gratitude journal back in 2009. And so every day I write 5 things before I go to bed, things that happen specific and in detail that day that I'm grateful for. And so on those days when I do have those moments, I can also go to my bed and I can cry because that's human, that's normal. And sometimes we have to get out that emotion, right? But then just don't stay in that place. And then I'll get out my gratitude journal and I'll read it. And when I read it and I get back in that goody feeling space of that gratefulness, and it's just a different, it's a different ambiance. It's a different aura that you attract around to you to bring you to that place of gratitude and comfort, and the same thing with reaching out to a friend that's going to give you that and help to recenter you, as you said, to know that, one, I mean, a lot of times, all of us on this show have so much to be grateful and thankful for, especially compared to a lot of people in the world, right? And so when you think of those things, then, you can get yourself back better too. But still, in the moment, a lot of times those things still seem so huge to us, and we have to find things to recenter us and lift us back up.
Thank you, Laurie. Thank you for so many things that you just said. That's awesome. I feel exactly the same way about you. Jorge, I'd like to answer that by saying being surrounded by people that you can truly be yourself and being your authentic self, regardless of who's around you. Allowing people to be able to see us in our transparency. How important is it to have a tribe, to have a team? Here's one other perspective, aside from everything that Laurie said, that when we want to share something with someone, it could be a letter, a dot, a digit. We know each other. We know exactly what's going on. We have that together for one another. Another great aspect is when your team is thriving and someone in your team is succeeding beyond your wildest dreams, you can say, I'm going for that too. If you can do it, I can do it. So when there's a team and there's a leader and there's someone in the lead and someone else in the lead and then someone else takes the lead and someone says, I'm going for that. You're like, what? You're how? Okay. The energy is so important. When you go to sleep at night and you wake up and you see that one of your teammates has done something beyond your and their wildest dreams, it makes us want to be, makes me want to be a better person so that I can be right beside them. So if they're up there, I want to do what I have to do to get there too. So the importance of a team for me is to stand beside me, to be behind me, to have my back, and for me to see their back and say, I want to catch up or catch up with me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's your team and your tribe. So it's very important. So if for a moment you felt alone, perhaps you could have turned by a few degrees in another direction, and maybe there would have been someone in out of your peripheral, and they would have been there looking for you as well.
So true. So true. What a beautiful. Thank you. Thank you both of you for answering what I was writing down. I wasn't not paying attention. I was actually jotting things down fiercely here on the side.
Thank
But
you. Well,
I love revisiting moments, and I think the written word is so powerful. And you, just like you mentioned, Laurie, a gratitude journal. I wrote that down so quick because what a fantastic idea. Just open it to see where you were at that time. Put a little date on it, a little timestamp, and just say, "Wow, how far I've come."
and Jorge, this is recorded, so you'll be able to take, get your notes again.
Right.
No, I'm just saying, but thank you
Right.
so much for that. Thank you. Now, so I just want to ask you, I don't want to
Yes.
look the clock, but how can someone get with you? So our audience is here, they're watching, they're listening, they're taking notes as well. They're calling their friends. They're saying, you have to see this amazing man. He surrounds himself with stories and artifacts and experiences. How can people reach you? Do you want to talk about what's the best method for people to catch up with you?
Yes, I'm actually trying to get onto the social media. Um, I have an established Instagram account. I'm getting my handle on the Facebook. Even though I grew up with it, it's just so much. It's so much. The beauty of it is we're always connected. You can be. You can choose to be connected, or you can choose not to be. But we do have access, whether it's an email or it all comes to your phone, doesn't it? So I have, my Instagram, my Facebook, my emails all connected, and I get a little notification on the phone. It's fantastic.
Okay, what's your company? So share your name, your company name.
Oh, yes. It's a very special name. So my mom and I chose the Feathered Serpent, and that is a very, very, very powerful name. So we were born in Central America, and the Aztecs and Mayans, you can see their influence in our culture, thousands of years after they've passed, and now it's all in ruins, but we have those are our roots, and the traditions in some places are very, very evident. And I think there's so much power. I love the analogy of having roots. I think that's why I love plants so much, that analogy of a tree. But because the root system is just as big as the tree. the root system, you know, the community, it's indicative of how big you can grow. So the bigger the roots, the bigger the tree, the bigger the fruit, the bigger, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We can go on, play on words with that analogy. But so the feathered serpent is actually an ancient deity that these people revered, and it's of rain, it's of abundance, the deity of abundance and rain and prosperity, and I think that resonated so much with us. And that those are principles that are very, very, very important to us. So in Spanish, it's el serpiente emplumada, but for some people, it's a little bit of a mouthful. So the feathered serpent, it is. And it's really fascinating. In parts of Mexico, they have whole temples and pyramids devoted to the feathered serpent. So I think it's a very, very, you know, it's a fantastic name because of all the cultural significance behind it, right? Um, and then what was the second part of your question? Sorry.
If someone wanted to know your full name and give us a number or a way they can reach you,
Oh
we
yeah,
will
for
post all of
sure.
that, but
Okay.
maybe you can
Yes,
share.
yes. We'll link it to it. So on Instagram it'd be the Feathered Serpent. The same thing for Facebook. My name is Jorge. Should I give out my email or
A
well
phone
we can give
number
it
if you
after.
want.
Yeah,
We'll,
phone
we'll
number.
give everything out. We'll give everything. Laurie, you have all that out for us
Yeah.
in the advertisement, right? Okay. And in case there was something. So I do have one last question for you. Think about this. Is there someone in your life that you would like to say something to, wherever they may be? Someone that you're grateful for, something you'd like to share about them or say to them?
Wow. You know, a lot of people. A lot of people. I just was in my thoughts there because my success is directly correlated to the support of the people closest to me. They have been my biggest supporters. Unbelievable. Whether it's someone I met just last week or whether it's someone that I've known for 15 years, I reflect on my journey, and even when I didn't believe in myself, they always saw something in what I was doing.
Mhm.
Even when it wasn't maybe evident to me, they always cheered me on, and they always told me, even complete strangers, don't quit, don't quit, don't quit. And I said, what are these people talking about? They don't even, what are they, you know, they don't even know me, but they feel it. They believe in me. And sometimes they say, you know, they pass the baton and say, you know, take it further. This is as far as I can go. Here's my support. Take it further for me. You know, maybe they're in a point in their life where they've changed courses or they're focusing on something else, and they give me, whether it's uh, knowledge or anything, even just a nice little message saying you're doing great. You know, it's unbelievable. And I was writing this down on the weekend. I wanted to, and I mentioned it to Laurie about how I want to reinforce those relationships. I want to show them gratitude by being physically in their presence, making an effort. That's something, an opportunity for me, making an effort to go out, to have that coffee, to have that connection, just to say thank you in person. I know we can send a text message and email, but make time. It doesn't have to be for long, 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. And just say thank you. I'm taking, you know, time out of my day to show you I'm grateful. Like really, just to show you thank you, thank you, thank you. So it's not one particular person, but it's and it's funny that you mentioned that because lately I've just been reflecting on you know my gratitude, and it's that group of people in my life that I'm super super. If they're watching, thank you. I do try to. I send them messages, but I think I want to take it one step further. you know, there's something about being face to face, if possible, if you have the luxury of being close enough. Um, and I think it's special. So I'm trying really, really hard to make time and get my, as the book says, what is it? Get my hands dirty.
Get your hands dirty. That's the book. Get your hands dirty. Well, Jorge, thank you so much for sharing your story. Thank you for being with us and taking the time to give us a walk through your journey. And thank you so much
Chapter
for
one. Chapter one.
Please say that again.
It was chapter one.
Chapter one. Okay, awesome. Chapter one. And thank you for spending this time with us. I know this is the beginning of many, many conversations that we will have.
Absolutely.
I look forward to following up and following through with you and seeing all the things that are beyond this screen. I know there are many things, you know, beside you and behind you. And we certainly can consider us your friends and your supporters and your followers. So I did go to your Instagram account and I was showing it to someone today, actually to two people today. Beautiful. I was showing it to the two women I was with and saying, this is our guest tonight, and going through your account, and it's beautiful. So thank you so much for that. And we do invite you to stay in touch with us. I will see you very soon. I will talk to you tomorrow. There's no way we're going to not know what's going on in one another's lives. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Laurie, for the guests that are watching us and saying, I want to be Jorge, I want to be that person. I want to be like him. I want to be with him. They can find out how to reach him. But what if they want to be on here, right here on a Gratitude Girls show with us because they have something to share? What does our guest or potential guest do?
Yeah, absolutely. So find us on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/gratitudegirls. Click on the message box there and send us a message. Tell us your gratitude story of what you want to share with the world. That message goes to both Catherine and I, and we review it and then give us your contact information. We will get back with you and let you know of our schedule of when we can get you as a featured guest on our show.
Awesome. Thank you so much to our audience, to our guests. Jorge, thank you so much. Laurie, I love you for everything that you do in holding space for us and for our show and for our future. I want to thank everyone for being here tonight, and they can tune in. You can tune in with us. I'll let you tell everybody, Laurie.
Yes, every month, the fourth Tuesday night, 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central, 7:30 Mountain, and 6:30 Pacific. So tune in with us every single month. Talk to you soon. Have a great night.
Good night.